Hey everyone, welcome back. We are talking about something a little bit different this week, trying to get out of the church realm for a minute. A lot of our videos talk almost entirely biblically about things, or if not entirely biblically, about topics that start in the Bible. I think as Christians, especially around church, we've all seen where money only gets talked about in the context of you're supposed to give. You're supposed to give. Give your 10%. We want to talk about what do you do with the other 90? What do you do with that? Like, how do you take care of that? That's what we're going to talk about today. What thoughts do you have to start us off there?
Yeah, well, if you do want to at all stay around the zip code of biblically speaking, stewardship usually gets limited to the 10% or whatever percentage you do give faithfully in priority to God in honoring His Word. And stewardship cannot be just allocated to 10%. Stewardship is everything you have, right? So we're a manager of all that God has given us. It's not ours, it's borrowed. He's lended it to us, and we give an account of what we do with all that God's given us. So that means we are a steward of all of our resources and funds, right? So biblically speaking, stewardship is what do you do with everything that you have? Therefore, stewardship encompasses not just the 10% you gave away, what about the 90% you have left? So we can still keep this spiritual and we can keep it biblical, but for practicality, let's talk about you just gave 10% of your income to the church, to God, or through the church to God, and now you've got the other 90% left. What do you do with that? And I believe that God holds us to a very high level of accountability and holds us to a standard of excellence and a standard of biblically speaking, a standard that says, hey, what you do with the rest of my money also matters.
Yeah.
Just like what you gave, okay? So I've read behind and researched Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey. Many others have too in our church. I know you and I have talked through it, looked at it. And you know, Dave Ramsey, and I'm not going to pitch the entire thing, but you know, he talks about you give. If you believe in giving, you do that. And he talks about investing. Mm-hmm. He talks about saving. He talks about eliminating debt and all that. I think that what we need to be speaking on regarding, okay, I got 90% left, what do I do with that? And I think most of the people watching this video probably need to hear what we're going to say here, is a matter of budgeting what you have left.
Right.
And a budget is you telling your money where to go.
Yeah. I think they get this false idea of, or this false sense that they don't have control over money. And it's easy to get yourself into a mindset where you believe that, and where that's how your day-to-day life plays out, is that I'm so saddled with all these different things and it controls me. There's some very simple ways to, like some tips, if you will, some checklist things that may not fix every financial problem you'll ever have. Anyone who says they can do that in a 20-minute or an hour class is lying to you. But there are some things that will make it easier, that will take some of the problems off your plate. And I think the first one is you've got to know what bills you can change and what bills you can't change.
Right.
Right. If I have a mortgage payment, I don't have a choice in how much I spend on that mortgage payment. So when I look at my money, like I get paid this much money, right? After I tithe, it's the first thing I do, I have this much money. Well, I know the mortgage can't be changed, so I go ahead and take that out. I know my phone bill can't be changed, I take that part out. I know anything that's auto-drafted out of my bank account, pretty much I have no choice over.
Right.
But then you let those things be second. So my giving is first. That's how I honor God. I believe that. That's how I'm going to live my life. The things I can't control financially are second. And then what I have left, I divvy up between what I can control. So you know what? That means I'm not going to spend money eating out before I pay the mortgage.
That's right. Because you're
I can't control how much that costs.
Because then you're eating your mortgage.
Literally.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you end up at the end of the month, you have spent more than you had to spend. And it's real simple math. And We don't even mean to sound condescending or make this sound like it's money management for dummies, because that's obviously not what this channel is, nor are either of us qualified to do such a thing. But from a spiritual perspective of people who want to honor God by giving and then be a good steward of what they have left, a budget is something very fitting for somebody who wants to attain those kind of results and live that kind of lifestyle and please God in that kind of way. And when you have a budget, you're telling your money where to go. Instead of your money telling you where to go, you control your money, not your money controlling you. And a budget is you starting the month with, I know, based on what Michael just talked about, I know giving, fixed expenses, all of that's coming out no matter what. Then you have variable expenses, the eating out, stopping at the convenience stores, grocery shopping, entertainment, date night, miscellaneous activities for the kids. And you have to set those with realistic parameters. And one thing that Dave Ramsey teaches, and this is for somebody who has to retrain the way they spend their money, is you withdraw cash out. Like, I have $100 for entertainment this month. You take $100 of cash, you put an envelope and write entertainment on it. And that's what you use for that month. And when you've spent all that money, you have no more entertainment money.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
You don't have to take cash out to do this. The principle and the point of this is you allocated and set the boundaries on, this is what I'm going to spend based on this budget to achieve these results in giving, investment, saving, and expenses. And when you do that, you're telling your money where to go.
Yeah. I think the second thing you can do is, a lot of people think that everything they have now, like let's say I've got a list of bills. I think people look at that and think, I'm married to all these. I can't get rid of these things, right? When in actuality, most of the time, that's not true. It's just a perception that you have. For instance, let's say that you're having trouble. Let's get real. Let's say you're having trouble paying rent. And let's say you have a $150 cable bill.
Right.
By definition, if you pay that cable bill and you then don't have the money to pay your rent, you have said, without saying it, that you value that more than you did your rent.
That's good.
We may not like some of the choices we have to make. I've had to make financial choices that sucked.
Yeah.
I lived without internet for 3 years. And I'm the IT guy at this place. Like, that is not something that I liked doing at all. But I knew if I pay the money that it's going to cost to have internet here, that means I have to take that money out of something else.
Yeah.
If you study finance in school or economics, any of that stuff, they teach you a concept called opportunity cost. What that means is, whenever you spend money on something, you're not just spending money, you're also taking away something that you could have bought with that money.
Right. That's good.
So, a lot of times we'll go and if it's budgeted, it's okay, but we'll go to the movies, we'll go out to dinner, me and my wife, and $150 can just be gone easy in a night. And if you're not careful, if you haven't planned for that, well, what did you take away with that $150?
Yeah.
Maybe I can't pay my car insurance now, and maybe I'm up a creek. You've got to realize that you have control over things, and you may have to make some hard decisions. You may have to say no to things that are perfectly okay, but other things in your life are more important, and you'll have to take away from them to make room for those things.
Yeah. I think that money management, budgeting, I think stewardship overall, I think it displays true maturity.
Yes.
Not just as a Christian. Again, we don't have to over-spiritualize this. As a human being, as a person, as an adult man or adult woman, money management, budgeting, stewardship of what you have, that just displays and demonstrates true maturity. And we cannot expect our children to have this figured out if we cannot practice it on a monthly, weekly, or daily basis.
Mm-mm.
And it's killing Christianity, it's killing churches, it's killing families. Dave Ramsey, I just read an article before we didn't even know what we were going to really talk about today, because we have some things planned in the next week to talk about. And so we were like, hey, what can we just real quick just throw together and present and make argument of? I read an article, and I just looked over it, about Dave Ramsey is actually urging pastors and churches to help people get out of debt because they're drowning in it. Our country's drowning in it. People are drowning in it. And the church is drowning in it. And if we can all together begin to assess our personal finances in such a way that says, what's the mature thing to do? You know, not just giving, but being accountable to God and ourself and our family and our future of what am I going to do with the rest of this money matters just as much with the 90 as it does with the 10%.
That's absolutely right. Well, we hope that this video has hopefully encouraged you. If you know someone who could benefit from this, someone who's maybe struggling with some things, we hope that you'll share this. Share it on Facebook. Share it on just any type of social media you can. This is a message that the church does not talk about enough. This is a message that society doesn't talk about enough. It needs to get out there. Help us spread this word. We'll be doing more stuff on this in the future, just more different topics like this. Subscribe to our channel so that you are the first to see when this stuff comes out, and we'll see you next time.